with the world heading the direction it is, you have no idea what you're gonna need. A good knife is probably one of the top things I need, and a good old school K-bar is probably one of the best choices. I mean, they still sell them. They're not as good as they used to be because most companies have cheapened up their profit because big corporations care more about money than actually selling a good product. So I choose to make my own. I got this one, forged from an old file, just like the old bucket knives used to be originally, forged from files. Again, they're not anymore. They're just cheap stainless steel, like literally everything else. But this one, carbon steel file, stacked leather handle, got a nice comfortable grip to it. Got the nice ridges in the handle, so it really grips your hand, which does a lot more than I figured it would. Honestly, I'm getting better at making these. I've made a few combat knives before, but this is probably the best one I've made, which is surprising for this being made from simple materials. Either way, this video I'm gonna show you how to make your own, but storm's about coming, so come on, I'll show you.
Okay, well, I actually got this forged pretty close to where I needed to. I did kind of clean up the spine a little bit, just that way I have like a reference for, the blade. Need to refine the tip so it doesn't look like whatever the hell that is. Then the tang is pretty close. I just need a little bit of cleanup, not too bad. Then once that's done, let me start that part over. Then, once that's done, there we go. Going to make a guard for it. Need to like adjust that just slightly. But yeah, get a guard made for it. Again, since it's gonna be like a combat knife, pretty simple, nothing complex. Then I also need like a pommel for it. I don't know if I'm gonna like thread that on or just mushroom it out. I haven't decided yet. I'll see where I'm at once I, get there. Okay, now that I got my blade nice and shaped, got a nice piece of steel here. This is gonna be my guard. Just got it measured out like 3.5 inches, I think. The off-brand K-bar that I have, the cheap $20 one labeled Marine Corps, piece of shit, don't buy it. That's about what it is. I just have it for measurements if you're wondering. 3/4 inch holes to match with the blade. Got them drilled in. It's gonna take angle grinder with a very worn out disc. I'm just gonna use to cut that groove in. Then once I get that cut, or as close as I can to cut, I'm going to take a punch, hammer it out if I have to. Hopefully don't have to. Then I'm going to just throw it in the forge, heat it up, and then hammer it to where it fits on there as perfect as I can. Then from there, I'm ready to heat treat and temper the blade. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna thread that later. Okay, so I was just kind of working along and realized I hadn't actually filmed any of this. Usually I do a little bit of work and then I just kind of explain what I'm doing. So I guess here I'm almost done and just now getting to that. Basically, I'm just doing the stacked leather handle like a typical K-bar. Just have these leather pieces that I just stamp the center out with a punch. Pain in the ass to do, honestly. This is my least favorite part of stacked leather handles. The results are great, but it's a lot of tedious work. Basically, I'm just stacking them on here, putting a little bit of JB Weld, just make sure nothing shifts.
I've had people ask in the past whether you really need the JB weld them or glue them at all. I don't know whether JB weld's the best option, but it's what I use and it seems to work really well. I didn't do it once and it got loose over time. Just the leather just kind of compacted. So the JB weld kind of makes sure everything stays rigid. And personally, that's what I'd recommend if you choose to do this. So I have everything nice and glued together. Of course, this isn't going to work for a handle. Made sure I made these big enough so that way, you know, this disc at the end here is covered. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nice box cutter here and I'm just going to start trimming down, especially around that. Then I'm probably just going to go to the belt sander, shape it up as best I can. Hopefully that one works. I don't think I have any belts for my smaller one. But anyway, hopefully it works. Get it nice and shaped up and then cut grooves into it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I'll figure that out. Kind of give it a nice grip. I didn't used to and just left it plain leather. But honestly, it's better to go ahead and just cut them out because you can actually really grip on and it doesn't feel like you're going to drop it. But anyway, it's getting late and I really want to go inside and play more Skyrim. So I am going to start getting this cut out. Just a sharp box cutter cuts this stuff really well, honestly. One of my best leather working tools, literally just box cutter from Walmart. Just kind of cut around.